Is distorted thinking sabotaging your New Year's goals? Let's talk about 5 of them and see if you're a victim to them. And later on in the video, you'll recognize why that's actually a distorted thought. Here we go. Welcome. I'm Sheri with ViREO Life, author of Go Forward, 28 Days to Eat, Move, and Enjoy Life God's Way. Today we're talking about 5 distorted ways of thinking that can sabotage your health habits. And there are several distorted thinking categories, and I will put those in the blog post that on my website that this ends up connecting with. But I wanted to talk about 5 of them that are very common when it comes to your health and how you handle your health habits. First one is polarized thinking, black or white, all or none. That comes up so often that, well, if I can't get to the gym 3, 4, 5 days a week, then I just won't do any. It's either all or none. Oh, well, I had that one cookie, I might as well go ahead and eat the whole bag. All or none, right or wrong thinking. One of the ways this really shows up is all of those rules that we set around our eating. And as an intuitive eater, which hopefully you are becoming, and if you're not, we can talk about that because I've got some videos on intuitive eating that I'll link around here. Polarized thinking of all or none with your food is very common, where it's I'm going to do lots and lots of I'm going to do all vegetables, or I'm going to detox all of this, or I'm going to only have X number of grams of this or that. And if you don't reach that particular number, you throw up your hands and it's, well, I'll start again on Monday. Well, I'll start again at the beginning of February. So do not fall victim to polarized thinking. Second is overgeneralization. Whenever you take a single incident and you generalize it to a full state of being, you come to a general conclusion on one piece of evidence. One bad thing happens, you make one mistake, and that is generalized then to be expected all of the time. You begin to label yourself based on a single or a very small percentage of what you are doing. Let's say that you are starting a new exercise program in 2020 and you miss a day. Oh, well, see, I'm just a person who can't stick with my exercise. Or you begin to have some tight muscles because, maybe because you're not stretching as much as you need to, and you generalize that, oh, look how sore I'm getting because of exercise. Or I wanted to manage my stress this year, there's a good one. I wanted to manage my anger this year, but it's only the 28th of January and I've already had 3 arguments with somebody. So I'm just, forget it. I'm not even going to try. Don't overgeneralize by some single incidents. Instead, good way of thinking that's not distorted is look for evidence for the positive and for the growth, because you're going to have examples for both. None of us are perfect, but none of us miss it all the time either. Look for the positive examples and build on those. Number 3, blaming. And this is where that whole victim joke came in a little bit earlier when I was saying, well, don't be victim too. Well, we don't need to blame other people all of the time, or even ourselves all of the time. There doesn't always have to be a culprit. Anytime you hear yourself coming up with all the excuses of, here's why I wasn't able to pack my lunch for the next day, or here's why I was not able to get to the gym in the morning, here's why I was too tired for this, or I was going to manage my stress, but then all of this other stuff happened and I threw it out the window. It's not that there aren't occasional reasons, but if you see a trend, again, don't overgeneralize if there's once or twice that there is a reason. But if you catch yourself always having a reason why you can't do whatever it was that you had set out to do, you're beginning to fall victim to the blame distorted thinking. Fourth is the shoulds. This is, what I should do to be a good person. I should eat this way. I should exercise. I should whatever. It's beneficial, but from a moral standpoint, there's not a should. And especially the whole food police thing, if you think somebody in your family or a coworker should do something a certain way, you know from experience all that's going to do when you bring up those, oh, you shouldn't eat that. Oh, why are you eating that? You shouldn't eat that. Oh, you should go to, honey, shouldn't you go to the gym tonight? All that's going to do is put up a barrier because of that sense of autonomy. We talk about this with intuitive eating, that whenever we cross that boundary of what someone else should or shouldn't do, it's not going to work. And you're even going to experience that yourself. Whenever you tell yourself you should or shouldn't do this, Sheri, that sense of autonomy comes up and begins to get a little bit of rebelliousness in a safety way, protecting ourselves. So the should distorted thinking really does work against you in your New Year's resolutions. And last, number 5, emotional reasoning. This is when you believe that what you feel must be true automatically. If you feel like a loser, then you must be. If you feel like you're lazy, you must be. If you feel like you're an overeater, if you feel like whatever it is you fill in the blank, that feeling is not automatically true. So again, let's put all these together. Look for evidence that you're not that. Anytime you feel something, say, you know what, that is how I feel, but that's not necessarily true. There's evidence for other things. I am not going to take this one incident and generalize that I must be this way. Look for evidence, other ways that are more positive. Hope that this helps you as we go through this season of making habits stick. And I do this series on habit making here at the first of 2020. Be sure to subscribe so that you can get all of these videos. Remember, you can find your path and fulfill your potential.